In the headlines, Ghana plans 20 million more trees to mark second edition of Green Ghana Day. Thieves hampering construction of new Tema-Mpakadan rail line as they have been stealing the bolts and nuts, Minister of Railways John Peter Amewu has said. Ghana Armed Forces explains video of soldiers involved in an accident. Still on the Council of State's returned gratia, we play back Togbe Afede's interview with Joy News and Otchere's reaction. And LGBTQI plus billboard on Accra Tema motorway removed. Welcome to Graphic Online's News in Brief. It was Green Day today as Ghana marked the second edition of the day devoted to tree planting. This year's target is to plant 20 million trees to help boost the country's afforestation drive. President Akufo-Addo and Vice President Bawumia, the Chief Justice, members of Parliament, heads of institutions and religious leaders, and many other people planted trees at various areas across the country today.
At brief ceremonies organized nationwide, different species of plants were planted. The aim of the National Tree Exercise is to, among others, help restore the country's lost forest cover and greenery. It was on the theme, Mobilizing for a Greener Future. At the Ifa Sutherland Park, President Akufo-Addo urged the public to get involved to conserve the environment.
I call on each and every one of you, whether you are a Ghanaian or not, insofar as you are in Ghana, to join us today to plant at least 20 million trees. Together, let us build a greener future for current and future generations of Ghanaians and mankind.
The local government minister, Daniel Otchere, who also planted a tree at the Bri Botanical Gardens, urged the public to not only plant, but also nurture and sustain the plants in their homes and surroundings.
I also want to emphasize grass and other shrubs in our area, especially in our vicinities. When we were in primary school so many years ago, we played football on grass. Nowadays, ask ourselves, how many schools, primary schools, do sports on grass? And then in many parks.
About 250 bolts and nuts holding the newly constructed rail tracks of the 97.6-kilometer Tema to Mpakadan rail line have been stolen, the Ministry of Railways Development has said. The ministry said the continuous theft was causing the country to lose millions of Ghana cedis.
Speaking to journalists during an inspection tour of the Tema-Mpakadan railway at Manya Jokpanya on Friday, the sector minister John Peter Amewu warned the thieves to desist from such acts, adding that those who will be caught will be prosecuted. He said apart from the contractors intensifying patrols on the lines, anti-theft mechanism was also being installed to prevent the distractions of the rail lines.
It's our culture. I don't think it's fair because government is spending millions of dollars to construct this line, and it's for the benefit of all citizens of this country. This is the first time ever in the history of this country we have seen so much investment into the railway sector. And if people, Ghanaians, cannot accept this, take the project and accept the project as their own property, and therefore go behind to start pilfering, I don't think it's going to help us as a country. So this is just an appeal, to all Ghanaians. But the law will catch on any single citizens that make an attempt. We've realized some of the bolts have already been removed. Wow. The bolts and nuts. And this cannot be acceptable at all. So
the Ghana Armed Forces has explained that a video of a number of soldiers involved in an accident occurred on Wednesday at a spot along the Suhum-Anum-Apapem Road in the eastern region.
According to the Ghana Armed Forces, 16 military personnel sustained various degrees of injuries in the accident while on an operation to stop illegal mining on some river bodies in part of the eastern region. The injured were initially treated at the Anum-Apapem Clinic before being evacuated to the 37 military hospital for further treatment. 12 of them have since been discharged, while the remaining 4 are in a stable condition and responding to treatment.
Still on the Council of State's returned gratia, We play back Togbe Afede's interview with Joy News and Paula Otchere's reaction.
You were in the Council of State. Are you surprised in the midst of all the applause, the lone voice criticizing you, saying that you only participated in 16% of the meetings? Are you surprised?
Well, I was shocked that, I was very shocked that Mr. Otchere, of all people, who knew me very, very well, was a frequent visitor to my office many years ago, knew how I work, okay, and always commended the quality of my work. My surprise would come from, or indeed came from the misrepresentation. You can criticize me. You can criticize my opinions, but don't tell lies. You understand?
He told lies
don't
in the
say,
presentation.
for instance, that Togbe presented himself as coming from Ho to the Council of State and enjoyed transport allowances, when you knew it's not true. You knew that by my character, I could never do something like that. I am a resident of Accra. I'm not one of those who pretend not to live in Accra and enjoy government hotel facilities when they are working or enjoy transportation allowances. I'm not that type. He knows. So that part hurts me. And also the suggestion that I was most of the time absent from Council of State meetings.
You attended only 16% of the meetings.
Also hurt me because it's not true, and he knows that it's not true. So that level of dishonesty hurts me.
So back to the money issue. Togbe returned the money. Point we made, and in the interview he talked about privileges and things like that. One of the other privileges was that council members, government facilitated for council members to get loans to buy cars, which Togbe took advantage of. It is true that he has paid the loan. Almost every council member has paid the loan. How were they able to pay? They were paid from their allowances. So what's the fact of the loan story? Government facilitated, as government does for members of parliament, as government does for other institutions, government facilitated for Council of State members to obtain loans to buy cars. Now, I'm making another point. Government then wrote off part of the loan as a matter of record. And when I say this now, don't joke with me. If you do, I'll bring it. I just don't want to show it. We are dealing with a very important person. So government then wrote off part of the loan. I'm saying to you tonight that the amount of money that government wrote off the loan is bigger than the 365. It is. If you change it at today's rate, it's even way bigger. Not just that. Government said to Council of State members who want to take advantage of the facility that you can import the car, and when it comes to the port, you will get a waiver. You and I, do we get waiver from the port? We don't get waiver. I don't get waiver, you don't get waiver. If you bring a car, you have to pay for it. Council of State members get waiver. I am not against it. Council of State members deserve waiver. If we think they don't deserve waiver, amend the Constitution, end of story.
And before we go, the billboard promoting the activities of the LGBTQI+ at the Accra end of the Tema motorway has been pulled down. This came after some members of parliament sponsoring an anti-LGBTQI+ bill in parliament on Thursday raised concerns with the billboard and called on the police to remove it since it flouted the law. Graphic Online's News in Brief is brought to you by Graphic News Plus.
Download your Graphic News Plus now and choose your preferred package daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, and access free news on various interest areas as well. Visit us on graphic.com.gh for further information. Graphic News Plus, connecting people through news.
Thank you for watching. For more news, please visit our website graphic.com.gh or follow us on Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube at Graphic GH. I'm Amankwa.
Subscribe now.